Hope you guys are able to see the screen where you can see today's agenda. So one request from my end is that request you to be on mute. I will answer all your questions at the end. So whenever we are discussing these concepts, right? So if you have any questions, just make a note of it at your end or put it in the chat window. I'll just answer all of them at the end. Because once I keep answering in the middle, the demo session might get deviated. This is only just for today. Where in our regular sessions, you can ask questions, as and when you want. Okay, as and when you get any doubt, you can definitely pause me there and we can discuss. But just for today, we shall discuss all the questions at the end. Okay. So our agenda for today is to discuss about what is performance testing, and then the load runner architecture, and we will also see a practical example of how to record and replay the script, okay, using Vuegen, which is one of the component of load runner. And then we will discuss about the load runner course content, and then finally we will discuss about the question and answers. Okay, so what is performance testing? So I would like to share a slide. Okay. um, so before discussing what is performance testing, the overall testing in the software development life cycle is divided into functional testing and non-functional testing. Okay, functional testing and non-functional testing. So as part of functional testing, we actually test the core functionality. We actually test the core functionality of that particular application. Okay, for example, if you take any bank application, what is the core functionality of a banking application? Transferring money from one account to another account, paying credit card bill, downloading bank statement. All these can be the core functionality of the banking application. So when you test whether that particular functionality is working fine or not, then that will be called as a functional testing. So you transfer money from one account to another account. If you are able to transfer successfully, then that means that functionality is working fine. Okay, and with respect to this aspect, there is something called automation, functional automation testing also. There are some tools like Selenium, UFT. You might have heard earlier. They used to call as QTP. Now they are calling as UFT, and we also have Selenium and some other tools. Okay, to test the functionality. Okay, using automation. Okay, so that is the functional testing concept. Okay, now if you take the non-functional testing, which is on the right hand side here, the testing the non-functional aspects of the application like performance, security, usability, etc. So it is mainly related to testing the non-functional aspects, okay, such as performance, security, usability, etc. So performance testing is also a part of non-functional testing. And what are the different tools that we use? We have different tools in the market, of course. Some of the most widely used tools are load runner, JMeter. Load runner, JMeter are the most widely used tools. Okay. Now, if you take another example, for example, let's say a lift. Okay. So we all know the lift. So for example, if you enter into the lift, and if you press, maybe let's say you are in the ground floor, and you enter the lift and you press 3, that is a third floor button. So when it comes to the functionality aspect, the functional testing aspect, when you press 3, it should go to the third floor. That is testing the functionality, just giving an example. Okay, now when it comes to the performance, okay, that is the non-functional aspect, how fast it is going from ground floor to third floor is about the performance. Okay, what is functionality? Whether it is going to the third floor or not. What is performance? How fast it is going to the third floor. That is an important difference between functional testing and non-functional testing. Okay, I can correlate with the normal application also. For example, this is a normal sample UI application. Now, if I ask you to test the login part of this application, if I ask you to test the login part, okay, how do you do? You just enter some username and then you enter password for this particular application, click on login. So when you enter a valid username and password, okay, and when you log in, if you are navigating to home page, then that is that means the functionality is working fine. The login functionality is working fine. But as a performance tester, we are not much interested in the in this aspect. Of course, this is very important. Without this, we cannot do performance testing. Without functionality, working, we cannot go ahead for performance testing. But as a performance tester, we are more interested in knowing how fast the user navigated to home page. For example, when you enter username and password again and you click on login button, much time the user has taken to log into this, to navigate to this page. Okay, how much time the user has taken to navigate to this particular page is all important for us as a performance tester. It can take 1 second, it can take 2 seconds, it can take 0.5 seconds. Okay, it can take 3 seconds also sometimes. Okay, now you can ask me, so generally how much time it has to take whenever you click any link, whenever you click any link or any button, okay, on the UI, generally how much time it has to take to navigate from one page to another page. So ideally, the industry standard is 2 seconds. So when you click a link or click a button, you should navigate from one page to another page within 2 seconds. Of course, it can be 3 seconds, 5 seconds also, depending on the application complexity. Okay, but overall, the industry standard is 2 seconds. Okay, now I hope you got a little bit understanding about what is performance testing. Okay, now I will write the same thing here in a single line. So performance testing is all about checking the performance of an application, okay, by applying some load. Okay, so checking the performance of an application, yeah, we understood this point. By applying some load, what do you mean by this, by applying some load? Okay, so if I go back to the example of that particular lift, okay, if a person enters the lift, okay, and press 3, that is third floor. Let's say, of course, it will go to third floor. What I said is how fast it is going to third floor is important for us as a performance tester. But generally, how we have to test is by applying some load, or by applying the expected load. So when a lift is built, they will mention how many max people can enter, right? The lift, let's say if they say 8 people, okay, so when 8 people are inside the lift and you press third button, how fast it is going to third floor is important. That is checking the performance. That is checking the performance by applying some load. Means here in this case, the number of users accessing the lift. Okay, the max capacity of that lift is 8 people. Now when 8 people enter the lift and press 3 button, how fast it is going to third floor? Okay, so that is checking the performance by applying some load. Okay, so by going through this particular line, hope you understood the uh, meaning of the performance testing. It's all about checking the performance of an application by applying some load. So why I have written application? Because generally we test UI applications mostly. we test software applications. Of course, I have given you the example of Lyft, but here when it comes to performance of the software, that means we are testing the performance of a software application, right? So now even if you take this example, whatever we have seen just now, let's say this is some let's say this